Okay. I usually use Zoom, which allows me to have a background and filters, but I am using StreamYard. I'm using StreamYard today because it allows me to simulcast to 3 platforms. So I am watching the chat. Hopefully you'll watch live or later. If you are watching live, please leave a comment, say hello, let me know you're here. It does energize me to know that someone is watching live. Ask any questions. This is a great time to ask questions. Okay, so I wanted to address a huge problem many of you have. How do I know you have it? I have it. The problem is we need to make sales. Whether it is that you have a job or you have a business, income is the lifeblood. It's how we support our families, it's how we are not begging on the street. So we need to sell. The problem is a lot of us hate selling. I know I did for a lot. In fact, my husband told me I could never be a salesperson in terms of how we perceive sales, the business of sales, and salespeople in general. And that comes from a history of poor performers. And the poor performers of the many have created a perception that is very often untrue for most of us. But the perception is still so strong, it's so out there that even those of us who understand that our business is of value to the world, that the idea of selling paralyzes many of us. It used to do it to me. I used to be the first one to say, I can't sell. I can't sell. I was great at writing. I would happily make a website, but the idea of selling would paralyze me. Picking up the phone to talk to someone about my products would absolutely paralyze me. Am I the only one? Can I get a witness? Hey, I cannot be the only one. Well, I had to address that because it was either I go get somebody's job or I figured this thing out. And clearly, I knew TV was one of my answers, which was why I was so adamant. At the time, YouTube was not a thing. And even when YouTube came on, it was still not really a thing. And, over time, YouTube has come to be a powerful presence. And I do encourage you to be there. But TV remains a top video platform, even if you ask ChatGPT. And it's simply because the history of TV, the authority that TV has become to be associated with, and the fact that the jokers can easily be on social media for free means the jokers are not making the effort or the expense to be on TV. So TV remains a credible, authoritative platform to the point where the brand, as seen on TV, is so powerful. So, that being said, I knew I had to solve the sales issue for my business. Now, I wasn't always in TV, guys. I actually was in a financial space. I'm a licensed insurance agent. I hold my real estate broker's license. I'm a certified credit consultant, blah, 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 blah. I was in a financial space. So I wanted to take that message out to the public to create that level of awareness, hopefully create a list of prospects that would, come see what I had to say or learn more about me or whatever. So I knew I needed to get out there, and I fully appreciated the impact of video as being the next best way for someone to get to know me other than just reaching across the table and shaking my hand. So I understood that very early. And I went to television, and then eventually, yes, I have a presence on YouTube now, which I'm actively building because of my guests. I understand that when guests come to television, as when I wanted to be on TV, that it's more than just I was on TV. It's more than that for you guys now. I fully get it. You are looking for exposure and audience reach, which we have coined influential reach, which we have created the trademark on reachology, is the way we call it, is the science and study of influential reach, not just influence. Influence is when you're a big fish in a small pond. and the small pond is your reach. Influential reach is its own animal, not just influence, not just reach. You can be very popular and have zero credibility. So the space of influential reach is how we re-envisioned PSI TV. So let me get back to the problem. Selling. You have something that you need sales for. You need to constantly have a brand new flow of brand new eyes, new prospects coming into that pipeline, because guys, after you've sold to the family and friends in that small pool, they've all supported you. Yay, you. That's not going to keep you guys going to this grocery store. It's not going to keep a roof over your head. You got to keep a continuous flow of income coming in. And I'm not talking to the people with jobs, and I'm talking about those of you who are creating the jobs for the others, right? Those of us who are entrepreneurs, small business owners, we are creating the income flow for the others and for ourselves. So I had to solve this problem. And one of the ways I solved the problem was I had a lot of coaching. Grant Cardone is one of the many that really, shout out to Grant Cardone, got me over the hump of me saying I can't sell, got me over that big time. So if you really need to get over that, you probably need a Grant Cardone style course, simply because he will twist your arm a little bit. And I'm not going for that kind of a thing, but just as a bravado, it really got me braver and willing to do what needed to be done. And that's kind of what I got out of his course. But I've had several coaches and courses since then. Back to how TV can help. So you need to get in front of audiences. And guys, you should be creating your own audience base. I will be doing a show, actually, our next live on Monday, 10:30 a.m. Oh, I hate to make shows not evergreen, but anyway, this Monday coming 10:30 a.m. We're gonna do a show on the difference between the social media influencer and the entrepreneurial influencer. Yes, it is a thing. The entrepreneurial influencer, which is what I'm attempting to become. So I'm definitely building my influential reach, actively so, especially because I've made that the focus of my doctoral study, not only for my own brand of the PSI TV, but I'm building this brand for you guys. So when you're guests on PSI TV, the audience that we have been actively curating and building will be the audience we put your content in front of, and it's ever expanding. We're expanding. We're seeing our view count go up. We're seeing our subscription rate go up on YouTube, and our followers on IG, our followers at Facebook, where we're building that audience and we're building it for you. Now, you hate to sell. Yes, I get it. I know I used to hate to sell too. But what PSI TV does is solves a whole bunch of those problems for you. Number one, I see I have one like. Alu Tori. Hey, Alu, thank you so much for checking in. I appreciate you. So when you get in front of this audience that you did not have to build, this is why I have the media challenge, guys. Look out for my media challenge. I have it several times a year. I am having one coming up in January, and the January 2024 media challenge is going to have additional bonuses that have not appeared in prior media challenges, that will not appear in the ones coming up after this month. But the media challenge is to get you ready to get on other people's platforms, so that if you don't already have an audience, and even if you do, you'll build a bigger audience. Why is it that Tony Robbins and Rihanna and Taylor Swift, they're being interviewed on different people's shows, Ellen DeGeneres and Saturday Night Live? Why? Because they need to get in front of other people's audiences. They need to remind their audience. You need to have a continuous media presence. You're not going to build your brand if you do not have a continuous media presence. That's why we have billboards on the side of the road. A billboard can't make a sale. The billboard is there to continuously remind you that the brand exists and what that brand story is all about. So PSI TV, we're actively building the audience base. When we have a guest on PSI TV, we are in the space of what we call edutainment. Edutainment. So it's like we're educating the consumer about what you do in a more entertaining format. So if you were to get on your own video, or if you're to get on, a live, or, you're creating content and you're like, I'm great, my product's awesome, it's the best. Okay, maybe it is. But when you hype it up yourself, it's not quite the same as when someone else speaks into it for you. This is why brand testimonials are so awesome. When you get a testimonial from someone, it is way more powerful than if you said the same thing about your stuff. So when we have guests on PSi TV, there is an immediate trust transfer. The people who are watching to see what else is Trudy coming up with today gets introduced to my guest. They never heard of them before, didn't even know they exist. All of a sudden, you're on their radar. Blip, you're on the radar. Okay. Now you're on the radar. They may or may not check you out based on what's going on in the show. Let's say they watch the show, which is another thing PSi TV has taken to do. Because we understand that we're in the knowledge broker business, we're here to share your content. We're building this to build you. Okay. We understand the vision for our business. We're building your brands for you. So I believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. If I help you achieve what you want to achieve, I'll achieve what I want to achieve in the end. So I put you guys first, push your stuff forward, and in the end, my stuff will eventually get built up. So we have opted not to monetize our PSi TV channel via ad sales. Guys, turn on TV, and how many ads do you see? Now, I'll admit, YouTube runs ads on our shows. I can't help it. YouTube is their own platform. They make their own decisions. And even if my channel was not monetized, which it is, simply because we've accomplished what YouTube is looking for to monetize the channel. We have upwards of 2,000 subscribers, going on closer to 3,000 right now. And that's because we've been deliberate. It wasn't always like that. We're getting the views, and so therefore we got monetized. YouTube's going to put the ads on. Can't help it. But on television, we opted not to interrupt the show we have built with you, the co-created show we're doing, to run ads. Ads are an interruption. Ads are an audience attention break. It's a point where we leave the show to go get a snack or change a channel. So we opted, and trust me, that's a lot of money on the table that we left behind. But we've looked at our priorities. We looked at what the goals we're trying to accomplish, and running ads on television is not going to bring us to our overall goal. It might bring us closer to our financial goals, but not to the overall goal. And I truly believe that if I make the first thing, if I make the priority, everything else will take care of itself. I hope I'm not wrong, but that's what I currently believe. So we help you solve the sales problem because you're getting in front of a brand new audience that didn't know you existed. You're getting that trust transfer that all of a sudden these people never knew who you were, not only know who you are, but if you're a guest on PSi TV, clearly I've decided it's worth sharing with my audience. The third thing is I always interview my guests from the perspective of the prospect. If I were going to be a prospect for your offer, be it a book you just wrote, guys, there's 50 million titles available for sale on Amazon. Okay. If you want your book that you just worked so hard to write to get read, people have to even know it exists, and there's 50 million options vying for their attention. Okay. If you're a coach, I just did a show on this. There's how many millions of life coaches, not just any coach, no, life coaches alone in the United States, how many millions of realtors. If you want to be seen, to be recognized, you're competing with many, many others. So when we introduce you to our guest, you get in front of a brand new audience, you get trust transfer, you probably will pick up some prospects. And also, we are asking you questions. We research our guests. We don't just come on and, oh, introduce yourself and what do you do? No, we research you, and we ask the kinds of questions that very likely your audience would want answered before you were a possible option for the thing that you do. So you get on their radar. You're now a blip on their radar. Okay, you exist. And now they're like, you might be an option. And then the next stage of that funnel would be a taste test. So, depending on how you've crafted your call to action, it might be a free download of something, or a free checklist, or a free consultation, whatever. It might take a taste test. Once you've taken the taste test, you're now in the running, because now you might be someone that they're going to want to buy from, or they're in your lead funnel, so that you can nurture that sequence and let them get to know you more off of our platform. That's what it's here for, guys. But that funnel starts somewhere. It's got to start somewhere. And PSI TV is a very good place for it to start, or for it to get, additional prospects added into your funnel from this lead generation platform. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And yeah, I think I may do a lot more of these spontaneous lives, but I always do Monday morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. We do a live show. It's always on the topic of influential reach, always on the topic of something around the area of influential reach. Guys, this is my doctoral research pursuit. I am looking at what the academic research says about this space of influence and audience reach and everything to do with that. And I'm also looking at what the market does, because I'm doing it myself within the market. I have coaches, I have peers that are doing it. I'm actively looking for the answers, because not only are we building the PSI TV brand, but we're building that audience base so that our guests will feel that value stack, value stack, value stack, value stack. We are stacking the value of you, of it being a no-brainer for you to do business with PSI TV, whether it is because you come on as a guest on our show, or you realize the value of having a brand channel like a PSI TV. So if you're busy making content for your channel, whether you're putting it on Facebook, you have a YouTube channel, you have a TikTok, if you're creating videos, you may also want to consider having a television channel for your brand. Right now, it is like the new frontier. Okay, so just like when YouTube came on and they had started to get a few videos up, and now it's a powerhouse with millions and millions and millions of channels. Well, television is a changing landscape as well, and cable TV as we know it is dying. And internet protocol television, or over the top television, or that is changing the game. And so we now have 24-hour on demand TV, live streaming, all kinds of things, and it's new for the television platform. And you might be able to be one of the first few channels that are non-traditional television, like PSI TV is. We just put up a brand new channel for West CEO Fitness. Theirs were the 17th fitness channel on Roku TV. Can you imagine how many millions of channels exist for fitness on Facebook, or on TikTok, or on YouTube? Well, on Roku, it's because the traditional stars and HBO and those are there, but offers like yours right now, you can find Bitcoin channels, you can find coaching channels, you can find fitness channels, you can find legal channels, you can find cannabis channels that are appearing on TV. Never before in the history of TV was that a possibility. And it is possible now. And that's one of the other things in fact, that's where we really love to be, in the space of creating brand channels for business brands. We would love to do that all day long, even more so than interviewing you, I'll be honest. So that being said, we're value stacking. We're constantly building the audience, so that when you're a guest on PSI TV, you will not only be in front of an audience. I'll tell you, a lot of these podcasts do not have an audience of their own. They do not. So free is, it's free. I mean, when you are not making any money, it makes it really hard for you to go build an audience. So I'm not saying don't do the free options, but yeah, you might be getting interviewed, and sometimes not even very well. But do they really have an audience to put you in front of? I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Trudy Beerman here. I am super simple to find, and I do look forward to connecting with you. Who else was on? I see another name. Let's see. Who else is on live with me today? Mansoor Mirza. I hope I pronounced your name right. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.